Hello, guys, and welcome to another Spurs-related live stream with your host, James. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Henry Wright TV. Say, what's up, Henry? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good, all good. Spurs win. It's nice to come on here and be positive. Back-to-back wins. So, yeah, it's good.
Great stuff.
I just can't wait to dig in and talk about the game. And, because, boy, when we went 1-0 down, we'll talk about it in a minute, but my mood went from a 10 to a 2. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think starting off, before kickoff, obviously it was all about Newcastle with their takeover, and of course rightly so. But did you have bad feeling before the game? Because I was sort of like, well, they've got a buzz around their club and they've got a load of money coming in, but they're still the same terrible Newcastle team. So how were you feeling before that game?
Well, Newcastle, as we just said on our Instagram Live, they are one of the worst footballing sides in the country. Probably you could say them and Norwich. So when we went into the game, I was like, well, a week ago, I would have said, yeah, do you know what? We should steamroll these. And they get the new owners. They get bought out by the Arabs, the billionaires, the richest club in the world now. And then I kind of thought, is there going to be some sort of new owner bounce where all of a sudden their whole fan base reunites? Because Newcastle have got a big fan base. They're pretty much supported by the entire city. It's not like London where we're all kind of divided. And I thought, you know what? I might be able to get a new owner bounce. And they went in with confidence. You could see their fans were happy. Everyone around the stadium was uplifted. They started the game, a perfect start. And then after that, it kind of just went downhill for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was nervous.
When they scored that first goal, though, oh my goodness, I was like, because that stadium was rocking when they scored. When Callum Wilson scored, I had head in hands. I was like, please, Spurs, do not embarrass yourself. Because the amount of people that would have been in watching that game just because of the hype around Newcastle and the takeover. I remember seeing when they got took over, and I think they had 700,000 followers on Instagram, and then suddenly they're nearly at 1 million. I'm thinking there's going to be so much exposure around Newcastle United worldwide. Think about how many people are suddenly interested in what Newcastle are doing. And going 1-0 down in 2 minutes, oh my goodness, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. But we kicked on straight away. Well, it took 15 minutes, and we'd replied. So,
what did you make of the way that, just talking about Newcastle before we get on Spurs, the way that they've kind of, Steve Bruce has been under a lot of stress, pressure. The press has basically said that he's out the door before he's even been announced that he's sacked, and then it's kind of like, I kind of feel like sorry for him in a way. He's never really had a budget in Newcastle. Their squad isn't the best. It's awful, to be honest. The only players that look decent in there is probably Maximin, and Callum Wilson. And even Maximin, his highest goal scorer in the season for Newcastle was something like 5 goals.
Yeah, so he's a bit like a Bergwijn, isn't he, really? I mean, I think I'd rather have him over Bergwijn, but he's a bit like
any day of the week. Any day of the week over Bergwijn. The guy's just... But I kind of feel a bit sorry for him. Yeah. He's not a good manager. Let's not get it twisted. He's not an elite level manager, but at the same time, he's being completely shafted by an entire fan base.
Yeah, exactly that. The thing is, it's difficult for Bruce because he's not. If he makes Christmas, I will be very surprised. If he makes it till the end of the month, I'll be surprised. But it's a difficult one because it's a bit like what Nuno's dealing with in respect that people are calling for his head, but let's not forget our squad is not good enough. Our squad is not good enough for top 4. You compare our squad to Man United, Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. They've got depth on depth. They have got. They could start 2 starting lineups that would be stronger than ours, and that's being honest. We've got a good front line. We've got a few good defenders, and we've got a few good midfielders, and we've got a very good goalkeeper. But we haven't got world-class starting 11. We haven't. So when I compare that to Steve Bruce is working with a bunch of frauds and Saint Maximin. So what are you telling me that? Whoever it is that comes in, even if they got Pep Guardiola, you telling me he's going to be able to make them a top 4 club? No, because they need the transfer window. They need to rebuild. And so do we. We're still in the process of rebuilding because, we're absolutely shocking at the moment. But we're getting away with it at the moment. Fortunately, because we played 2 pretty poor sides. Aston Villa, everyone's got hype around them. They just lost 3-2 and they bottled a 2-0 lead in 10 minutes at the end of the game. So we need to be aware of that on Sunday. Like, we need to be hitting the ground running. If we have any of those starts like Arsenal again, oh my goodness, it's going to go down there, because West Ham are on fire. Let's not get around that. West Ham are on absolute fire. Yes, go get
it. When you look at, like, West Ham are on fire, but we're still above them. Man United have bought all these players. We're still above Man United, and we have.
Yeah, but Man United have been. I mean, we can talk about Man United. They've been shocking.
Oh, Bob's in the chat. Shout out Bob as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to Bob. Top lad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Big up, boys. That was a 3-2 thrashing. We were a much better team. I would describe it as a 3-2 thrashing, because I think you're right in terms of that, because we should have won about 5-1, but we didn't. And that's because we made a mistake. Eric Dyer made a mistake at the end. And the first goal, we're hitting the ground running. And this is what I'm saying. We've got to hit the ground running against West Ham. I can't stress that enough, because if we dilly-dally around what we did at the start against Newcastle, because at the start against Newcastle, who was it? It was Emerson, wasn't it? He gave the ball away, and he was like running round. I was thinking, what are you doing? And
the thing is, we have no one in the back line, even Reguilon, apart from Romero, who actually has composure. Like, our entire defence, and I'm talking around the entire squad, from Davis to Rodon to Tanganga, no one actually is composed with the ball except from Romero.
Yeah.
Emerson, the guy gives the ball away a stupid amount. Reguilon never really looks like he's going to make the right pass. Davis and Doherty are both woeful. When Romero's on the ball, he looks like he's gonna play to Lucas, or he just looks like he's in control. And that's purely the reason why we need to build the defense around this guy. Like, when you look at the elite level centre backs, when you look at the likes of Van Dijk, I was about to say Cardi because someone just said that. Van Dijk or Ruben Diaz, Thiago Silva, they're always in control. Yeah. Van Dijk could have 5 people around him and he'd still be calm. We don't have him like that. When Sanchez and Dyer are on the ball, it's like panic stations.
It's like a clown show. It's like a circus. Brian Chan, hopefully Kane can continue scoring, because we can't rely on Son every game. I would say, I don't know, how do you view this? I would say Kane was probably better than Son on Sunday, but they both weren't incredible. I thought the standout performers were Ndombele, Lucas Moura, Skip, and probably Romero. And did I say Ndombele? Yeah, I did say Ndombele.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
the thing is, because their bar is so high, like, a decent performance for them is still like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Where you go, like, Kane got on an assist and a goal. Any other game of the week, any other team of the week, whether it's Arsenal, whatever, they would automatically get, a 7 or an 8 out of 10, because it's Kane and he's, top 2, top 3 strikers in the world. People would argue the best. Obviously, it's up to debate for him and Lewandowski, and obviously Haaland's banging him in as well. But, like, because his bar is so high, a goal and assist for him is like, it's an average game. Whereas if he got a hat-trick, people would be like, right, Kane's back. Well, I actually think I stuck my neck out the line. Everyone was doubting this guy, saying we should have cashed in. And I was like, he will turn it around. He's just in that hangover period where it's kind of like you didn't get your move. So you got to suck it up. It's ride or die sort of thing. But I don't know what you thought of him.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed. Sorry, I was just going to get through the comments before we fall too behind on them. Reports from Calcio Mercato that we're looking to sign Tchouaméni. Haven't heard that one. And Vlahovic, I've heard that one a lot. If that happens, I'll run naked down my street. Vlahovic is what we need, but let's not forget we need a centre-back to pair Romero, like we've been saying. And we need an extra attacking midfielder. And probably... Well, I'd say we need...
Go on.
I was going to say we need another winger, because... what happens if Lucas gets injured? Then we're looking at who on the wing? Bergwijn. He's not good enough. We've discussed this. Who are you going to say that we need?
See, the thing is, we don't have any, apart from Kane and Son, we don't have any consistent players from our midfield onwards. Ndombele shows glimpses of magic where he can perform like yesterday.
Yeah, but he might be a passenger on Sunday. You know it. You know what's going to happen.
He might be 7 or 8 games now without doing anything, but he's got the ability. We need consistent players. I was calling out for, I can't remember what his name was now, Leon Bailey before he went to Villa. Like, another player like Ndombele shows moments, but he's more consistent, and he was very good for Leverkusen. We just need a serious right midfielder who's going to come in and challenge and straight away hit the ground running. And people will call him for Adama Traore.
No.
Listen, you can be a bodybuilder, you can be Dwayne Johnson, mate, but you can't finish your fucking dinner. You ain't finishing nothing, mate.
I couldn't believe the amount of people that wanted Adama Traore, because if you look at his record, I think last season he played 36 games and he scored 2 goals. That is as good as Bergwijn, right? So why do we want another Bergwijn that's quick and strong? We don't. Icardi was linked to us as well. Kerr says, big up, fellas. Happy to get them 3 points. Glad to. The fan is doing okay. Of course, absolutely brilliant news that the fans doing okay now. It was obviously a scary moment. I just had flashbacks to the summer with Eriksen. I was like, and Højbjerg obviously has already experienced all that firsthand. And I was just like, please don't abandon the game. Please make sure the fans are right. And thankfully, it all turned out all right in the end. So great stuff. K7 said, I don't think Reguilon cuts it. I would love Gossens from Atalanta or Wijnaldum from AZ. I know Robin Gossens. Gossens is a good player. He's a good player. Yeah, he's a good player. He was very good in the Euros as well. Stood out for Germany in a very poor tournament for them overall. So I'd agree with that one. I think Eric Dyer should go back to midfield. I've seen so many comments there. We saw a lot of that in the Instagram, didn't we? For me, Eric Dyer will be making mistakes, whether he's up front, defence, or midfield. So that's my opinion. I just think we don't need another Dele Alli in midfield. That's being honest.
The thing is, though, like, would you actually make of Højbjerg in this box-to-box role? Because a lot of people are saying, you know, if Skip gets injured, play Dyer as that sweeping DM. I said this a year ago. Højbjerg is not a defensive midfielder. He's a box-to-box player. And he's proved that. He played a great ball over the top from Kane yesterday. He had a fantastic Euros for Denmark, dropping something like 3 or 4 assists. Now, can he contribute towards the goal contributions? Absolutely. But if Skip gets injured, we're going to have to play this guy at DM because we don't have anything else. People are saying bring Dyer in instead of Skip. I would take Dyer as a DM over Harry Winks any day of the week. Like,
do you know what though? Sorry to interrupt. Do you know what though? Before you carry on, because you're making a very good point. This goes back to the fact we didn't recruit after losing key players, and I'll give you an example. We didn't replace Jan Vertonghen, and we didn't replace Christian Eriksen, and we didn't replace Victor Wanyama and Moussa Dembele when they went seasons ago. And they were defensive players that we can rely on in that defensive midfield role. Solid players. A bit like, I don't like comparing, but a bit like, Arsenal have got him. They've got Thomas Partey. He's shown signs that he can be a very, very good player. You look at other players in midfield. Okay, Scott McTominay, pretty solid player. And Man City, you go with Rodri. They've got defensive midfielders they can rely on. Spurs don't have that. Exactly, Fernandinho. Tottenham don't have that because we didn't replace Moussa Dembele or Victor Wanyama, who, by the way, there's that meme page on Twitter where you talk about the 2016-17 season all the time. Because we had a good starting 11. We had a very good starting 11 from back to front. And that's because we had the 2 holding midfielders in Moussa Dembele and Wanyama, and they complemented each other perfectly. Moussa Dembele was allowed to get forward a little bit more, and Wanyama just stood there and was protecting that back line. We don't have that anymore. We just do not have that anymore. And that is why we're talking about having Harry Winks and Eric Dyer at centre defensive mid. We shouldn't bloody be able to talk about that, should we? We just shouldn't be talking about that. We should have replaced them.
That 16-17 season, we had the best 11 in the Premier League. We didn't have the squad depth. Simple as that. Chelsea won the league purely because of the squad depth. They had, Matic in his prime, Hazard tearing the league up. Yeah. Outside of that 11, who are we bringing on? You get rid of Danny Rose, you bring who was at his peak, you bring in Ben Davies.
Absolutely. What else have we got here? He's not good enough as defender. Gossen should be good, versatile, can play left back or as a winger. Sounds good to me. Let's get him in, but we won't. We'll let Inter Milan have him for peanuts or whoever it is. Same as who was it? We should have got Dumfries. We should have got him. Let's be honest. Dumfries would have been a better option than Emerson. And I don't want to go against Emerson yet because we haven't had time to properly judge him. But Dumfries is probably the better player, isn't he?
Though, like Dumfries is good, but like the guy can't defend. He's not a right back. The Netherlands kind of played him as a right wing / wing back, and when he was getting up the field, he was fantastic.
Yeah, he was basically playing right wing, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was horrendous. What did you make of like a lot of people on Twitter and social media at the moment are debating on, do you play Tanganga or do you play Emerson? Now we spoke about this just on the Instagram live. But what do you make of because Tanganga's a better defender, but he offers nothing going forward. Yeah, he's a bit like Mane's hairline, right? At the back is very good, but
Yeah.
this remaining bit is awful.
Yeah, I like that. I would say keep Emerson for now because at the moment that starting 11 won the game against Newcastle and probably put in the most convincing performance of the season so far. Yes, we're playing Newcastle, but I'd say give that 11 the chance. And I would say if it starts going wrong, Nuno makes some fucking substitutions because he hasn't made a single substitution
No, I don't understand
yesterday,
that.
and that panicked the hell out of me. I was thinking, does this guy like remember that he can change players and bring a player off the bench? No, 90 and Ndombele playing 90 minutes scares the living daylights out of me because that guy hasn't got his fitness. He's not a
The thing
fit
is, though,
player.
people are saying if it's not broken, don't fix it. I get that to a degree, but these players look burnt out.
But we nearly broke it because we were then panicking for the last 5 minutes because Eric Dyer, the donkey, put one in his own net. And we had, a good 5 minutes. Let's be honest, you were absolutely proving yourself that we were going to concede again. I thought it was going to happen. And if it
I thought it was
did,
gonna be West Ham all over again.
oh my goodness, can you imagine the amount of Nuno out calls we'd have on social media? The amount of Enoch and Levy out again. We'd have the whole thing again. I mean, it's still going on, the whole Enoch and Levy out. That's a completely different debate. But can you imagine if we conceded? Oh
Yeah,
my
it would have been
goodness.
horrendous. Would have been. The thing is, Nuno, like that around the 70th minute, we were completely in control of the game. That would have been the perfect time to bring on a Hill, bring on a Bergwijn, I believe was on the bench as well, Dele Alli, even though Dele Alli is dross, but energy in the midfield. Listen, the guy's finished. We need to just get rid of him. I don't get this debate about redemption Dele Alli. It's a rebuild. Just because he's working and he's grafting in the summer and he looks ripped, the guy has got
but it doesn't matter if you're ripped. We've said this. You got bodybuilders like Adama Traore that he has got no finishing product. Sorry, just bring this comment up again. Options we should look at. Lecroix. Is that the guy that's got like 90 pace on FIFA?
Yeah, he's the most disgusting player on the game.
Yeah. He's doing my head in. He's doing my head in. I hate playing against him, but I've actually not seen him in real life, so I'm not commenting on that. On Kuende, we know he's a good player. Chelsea nearly got him. Koulibaly, we're never going to get because he's carrying Napoli to the Serie A title, and
by the way, at
down.
the moment are 8 games, 8 wins.
8 wins, yeah.
3, and one of them was a penalty.
Yeah, 19 goals, unbelievable. Konza, not sure about Jeffrey Konza. Not sure about him.
He signed a new contract with Villa as well.
Lisandro Martinez, who's that? I don't actually know who that is. Sule,
Lisandro Martinez, I think he plays for Ajax. Is it Ajax?
Potentially. Pau Torres is a good option, though. We've seen he's good for Villarreal, and he's done it on a pretty big European stage.
We've already got a ball-playing centre-back, potentially in Romero. So bringing in Pau Torres, having 2 ball-playing centre-backs isn't the best, kind of subject. Yeah, I was right. He does play for Ajax. For me, personally, we need to bring in, a Dyer, but better. Someone that can just crunch the players and ruddy the troops. I think Romero, without a doubt, will go down as one of the best defenders in the Premier League. Like, I've got so much faith in this guy. Curtis in the chat as well.
Yeah. Another comment saying Højbjerg starting to bring some of his class act from the Denmark games to Spurs is what we need. He has it in him to create opportunities, assist, and even score goals himself. Yeah, I would say so. And we saw it against Aston Villa when he scored the goal. He got forward, box to box. That's what we want to see. But we still need that holding midfielder. And the thing is, do you think Ollie Skip can turn into a proper holding midfield player? Because I don't. He's bulked up, hasn't he? He's bulked up since he's been at Norwich. But for me, when I look at Ollie Skip, I don't see him as a CDM, a central defensive midfielder. I don't. I see him as a pretty much Harry Winks, but better. And Harry Winks isn't a defensive midfielder. He isn't.
Oliver Skip is what everyone thought Harry Winks was going to be. I think he's a good player at sweeping the defence and really mopping up, but I don't really see him as anything else.
Mm-hmm.
He's still young. He's still going to be potentially, a future captain. But at the moment, I don't really see much more of him. Like with Højbjerg, the guy can do everything. He was that anchor in our midfield last year. He was one of the best players we had last season, and he's not even a DM.
I think I would rather play Højbjerg at defensive midfielder than Ollie Skip, and this is where the debate comes in, isn't it? Because Højbjerg is doing very well box to box, like Kurs just mentioned, but
I disagree. To be honest, I think Skip is a better DM than Højbjerg because Højbjerg, don't get me wrong, Højbjerg is a much better footballer. Like, you haven't got to be a brain scientist, a rocket scientist, a brain surgeon, whatever you want to call it. An intelligent person can see that. Højbjerg is levels above Skip, but Skip does the easy things well. He wins the ball back, he tracks the runners, and he will be in the right place at the right time. He made some big tackles against Villa, and he put in a better performance yesterday. The thing is, if we play Højbjerg DM, we have no goals and assists from midfield at the moment. And Højbjerg is contributing. So the system at the moment, this 4-3-3, cut that out. It doesn't work. Get rid. 4-2-3-1 with a double pivot of Højbjerg and Skip, and then just constantly keep rotating them three in midfield, keep squad rotation keen, and keep Harry up front. No, I think that's the best you're going to get. But talking about Skip and Højbjerg, for me, I think Skip is JG says it right. He's a pure DM. You know, he's like, he does the simple things well. He's not going to score you 10, 15 goals a season like some DMs will. He's not going to pull out a 90-yard pass or something crazy, but he'll win the ball back and he'll get you in the right position.
But I think the only thing I'd say on that is, would you not think that Skip... I agree with you. We need the two in midfield, but if Skip's on his own in midfield, I do not trust that all the time. Against the better opposition, I reckon we would have got cut through yesterday. That's being honest, because Newcastle's midfield is not very good. I mean, don't forget John Joe Shelby got sent off within about 10 minutes of being on, but their centre mids are not good. Longstaff and, you know, they're not a good team, but I feel like Ollie Skip could have got cut through yesterday. That's me being honest. But I guess let's see, because I don't think that midfield is good enough against the top four teams. When we saw it against Chelsea, we got absolute... As soon as N'Golo Kante came on, our midfield didn't look like it was there. I mean, obviously, Dele Alli was involved in that game, but...
He's an elite level DM, though. Like, judging us against... Like, I hear what you're saying. Like, coming up against the bigger teams, yeah, we will get found out. But a lot of these smaller teams last year, especially on the back end under Mourinho, we would have lost. Like... Let's be completely real about it. Nuno, we look defensively better under Nuno, but we've all been judging him on creating the chances. In the last two games, we've been the better team, better than both opposition. We've conceded, some sloppy goals, but there is progress. Now this guy is an absolute baller. This DM for, I think it's Mönchengladbach. Yeah, he's a serious player.
Yeah, you gotta look at him. Zakaria. Pau Torres is a bit suspect. Bravo, welcome on in. And Skip is a pure DM. Yeah, I just think we need a proper CDM. And I think the thing is, if we get a proper CDM in, a bit like Rodri, obviously we're not getting Rodri, but I'm talking about parallels. You know, Zakaria, for example, who gets dropped in that starting 11 for you? And I know that's our question.
It's got to be Skip, isn't it? You know, if we can bring in, the thing is, the area we need to strengthen, I don't think is like DM. Skip and Højbjerg will do the job. I think there's other areas like attacking midfield, wing, another striker, another centre back. But if we were to replace someone, to bring in a Zakaria or a Rodri-like player or a Camavinga, that sort of player, it has to be Skip. But then again, the same old story. If it's not broken, don't fix it. He's playing well at the moment.
Exactly. And do you know what the other thing is? As soon as Ollie Skips comes out of that team, the amount of moaning from the fan base, like, oh, you know, we're leaving him on the bench, we're leaving another prospect to, like, you know, a bit like the Dane Scarlett. People are getting a bit ahead of themselves. I don't want to change subject, but like people saying, like, give Dane Scarlett a chance when Harry Kane wasn't scoring. The guy is 17 years old. He's not ready to play yet, and he's the fact he's been given games in the UEFA Conference League. I think that's brilliant in itself. You know, not many 17-year-olds would get a chance in Europe, and I know it's farmer Europe, but the fact he's getting a chance in Europe at 17 years old is brilliant, and that will do him wonders just alone. And I think he needs to bulk up a bit. That's a sign. I mean, I guess he's still 17. You know, can't judge him too much yet, but I think the way that the fan base will go if Skip gets forced out of the team.
Do you think it's because, you know, he's one of our own? There's that emotion there, like we had with like Harry, or we still do have with Harry. You know, Son to a degree. Son's one of our own, even if he didn't come from the academy, but he lives and breathes his football club. Dane Scarlett, you know, like he's doing very well for his age. Looks like he's got a lot of potential and to be a serious player in a few years. But like you said, he's only 17. That being said, if he did get a game and bang the goal, we'd all be getting gassed and we'd all be going mad.
Yeah.
So
I just don't want to see another Troy Parrott. I know I said it last week, but I don't want to see another Troy Parrott situation because the guy had so many different loan spells, and I think it's great that we've kept him for the Conference League, because if say for example we went out on loan to a League 2 club or a League 1 club this season, A, he probably wouldn't get much game time, and B, it's not going to do him any good at this stage. I think he's got such an opportunity to play in a Europe, and it's not serious Europe, is it? Let's be honest. Although I want to win the Conference League, at this stage, playing against, who was it we were playing against last week? Mura.
Yeah, who are like
play him. Play the youngsters.
I don't even know what league it is.
Exactly. Play the youngsters, because we should be beating them anyway. And if we don't, put the Harry Kane and Son on that came on in the last 30 minutes to score a few more. It's a perfect opportunity. I got a comment here from Andre, Spurs-related guy. Nuno has the unfortunate task to come in when Spurs are at a low and most fans are at a point of short fuse with every loss now. But he's actually doing pretty well with the team. You're spot on about the fact that he's coming at a time where fans are fed up with the owners. Fans are fed up that we finished 7th last year.
Thing is, though, like that's what you're. I don't want to point the obvious out, but you're paid to manage. Whether you got to manage players or situations, that's what you're paid millions for. You know, I'll be completely honest, and I've been honest from the start. Nuno wasn't my first choice, wasn't my 10th choice, and I'm not Nuno in. But then I'm not Nuno out. Like, I want him to succeed while he's here. I just don't think long-term he's the right man for the job. I think getting us through this rebuild, bringing in a director of football, knowing our identity, getting in the right players is all well and good with someone like Nuno, but he doesn't play the exciting football consistently enough like Pochettino did. And I don't think long-term he's the right man for the job. And just very, very quickly changing the subject, Brian says bringing in Papa Sarr. Now, that is a player that we like. The guy's doing very, very well for Metz.
Yeah, he's looking promising, isn't it? It's probably something we need in that in our squad at the moment. It's even to come off the bench, because where are our options on the bench? They're not there. We have no options on the bench. It's shocking. And you know what? Nuno has said to everyone, he's made a statement unofficially saying we have no options on the bench. Because guess what? He didn't bring any on. So if that doesn't tell you anything, Daniel Levy, please put your hand in your pocket in January and buy some players for the bench, or buy some players that will challenge for that starting 11, because it is embarrassing at the moment.
Our bench, just quickly, against Newcastle, Davinson Sanchez, Harry Winks, Ryan Hill, Giovanni Lo Celso, Dele Alli, Galini, Bergwijn, Tanganga, and Davis. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 defensive-minded players, a goalkeeper, Brian Hill, who's inexperienced, Dele Alli, who is out of form, and Harry Winks. Like
shocking, isn't it? Who'd you turn to? I'm not surprised he didn't make a sub. Yeah.
Like, Newcastle have got Ryan Fraser, who a couple of years ago was a good player. Dwight Gale, you know, Fernandez. Like Ryan Fraser would probably start, like, maybe not now, but a couple of years ago would have started right mid for us. And now it's kind of like it's certainly not worse than our bench, is it? And that's the embarrassing thing. Newcastle should have a worse bench than us. We should have a bench that's glamorous. I don't know. It's shocking. I hope Dane starts on Thursday. Yep. Vitesse is the hardest game in the group, though, isn't it? Probably. Actually, no. Rennes. Yeah, we go Rennes, Vitesse, Mura, but I don't think he will start. I mean, a lot of people are calling for like bringing Bergwijn, put Morris as the 9. You know, keep Son and Kane on the bench if we need to. But that West Ham game is so big for us, because going to their ground at the moment and how they're performing is a massive test.
Yeah.
But then again, I'd like to see him start. So it's kind of like you're on the fence a bit of both, really, aren't you?
Exactly that. JG is saying a happy Nuno found his 11. He's found his 11, but he hasn't found his squad. That's the. I try to put a positive into a negative without trying to do that. It's true. He's found his starting 11, which is great. But what happens when one of them gets injured, which is inevitable at one point? You know, we're in big trouble.
Well, I don't think that we're, like you just said, built well equipped to deal with injuries. If Kane, touch where he doesn't, touch head, touch whatever you want. If he did get a big injury, we don't even have a Vinicius there now.
We got Dane Scarlett. That is our second choice.
This is what I'm saying.
We
It's
haven't even,
like,
do you know what? There was a bit of a joke around at the time, what 3 years ago when we had Fernando Llorente, and everyone was saying, Jesus, like, he's terrible. Oh, we are screaming out for Fernando Llorente on the bench now. Tell me we're not. Because we would take Fernando Llorente on the bench. Bit of experience coming off the bench.
I said this in the summer. Like, the likes of
Shocking.
Diego
Giroud.
Costa.
I'd have taken Giroud. I'd have taken Giroud off the bench.
100%. You know,
Good player. Very good player.
Diego Costa, Falcao,
Falcao's
Giroud.
at some bloody Spanish side.
Yeah, but they were free transfers. I would take Diego Costa, bring him on the 80th minute, after shithousery, win a header, I'll play Kane for a goal.
Yeah.
You know,
Adebayor V2. Yeah, literally playing for a rival. I'm okay with Pepe remaining on loan at this club because at least he's getting first team football in a team that demands high quality. I think that's the issue with sending Parrott out. Yeah, and I hope this Pepe Sarr guy comes in next year and absolutely demolishes because everyone's so hyped about him. I don't want to say Son or Kane to travel. Unfortunately, one of them will, won't they? One of them will, and if not both.
What do you make of like this just breaking away from the Newcastle game in general? The Conference League in general, for me, we should be winning that. The only team, and I'm going to say this now, the only team that I think would stop us is Roma.
Yeah, do you know what, Henry? I'm just having flashbacks from last year, and I know it's the Europa League conference this time and not the Europa League. But the problem for me is, and I said it on a podcast at the start of this year, I said when we went through that qualification process and we got to the knockout stages, I said there is no reason why we shouldn't win the Europa League. The only two teams that were better, not even better than us, but on a level with us, or potentially on some days can be better than us, was Man United and Arsenal. No one else in that Europa League, and obviously Villarreal won it, but no one in that Europa League was like, whoa, you're an insane team. And it's the same at the moment. It's even worse standard in this Europa League conference.
Got knocked out, didn't they, early doors by like Slavia Prague.
Yeah, Slavia Prague. Yeah, that was a shock exit. But the thing is, I completely agree with you. There is no reason why we shouldn't be winning this Europa League conference. But I'm just getting the same vibe as I did when I said this about Europa League, and we'll do something stupid against some team, and I hate being negative, but I'm just being realistic.
How do you get out of that mindset though? Because that's just Spurs to rotten to the core. You know, we are that team.
But we're used to it.
Anyone was going to lose against Plumbers, it would be us. But how? And the only way we get out of it is because it comes from the board.
By winning something. It's by winning something. That's how we get out of it. And unfortunately, the board isn't backing us enough to win something at the moment because we've started the rebuild. But we're only 40% of the way there. As we've said, we need a new centre-back. We need a new winger. We need a new defensive midfielder. We still need a lot of players. And we need a new bench. We need players. We need to get rid of Doherty. We need to get rid of Harry Winks. You know, we need to get rid of Ben Davies. And we need to get players that want to play for that club and, you know, put 100% in. And at the moment, we're not going to win anything with this team. I don't think we are. With this squad, we're not winning anything.
For me, I think the only thing we have a good chance of winning is the Conference League. But then again,
it's the best chance, 100%. I agree.
You know, it's a long season, injuries. You know, Nuno's tactics and squad rotation have got to be very to a point. We need to, you know, these fringe players, the likes of Winks, Doherty, Davis, they need to get minutes for this Conference League because we can't keep playing the same 11 every 4 days.
Yeah, but the thing is, I hate watching Tottenham with Doherty, Davies, Winks. It's like watching the international break, as far as I'm concerned. They're players I don't really care about, and they're players playing for my club that I support, aka England, and I don't really want to watch it. It's the same for Tottenham. I'm watching Tottenham's C team. I mean, God, it's horrendous. I can't wait to get to the latter stages of this Conference League and actually go for it. But the thing is, we're going to get into a situation, I'm telling you now, Henry, you can clip this now, where we come up against Dynamo Zagreb, the equivalent in the Europa League Conference League. We get complacent, we think we're going to win, and we batter them and still lose in extra time to Orsic scoring a hat-trick. I mean, it's scary. I hate being negative, but unfortunately, we know Spurs and we know what they're like, and we know that there is potential for that to happen. But I think you're spot on.
The only way this changes is literally from the board, though, because as a club, you know, through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, before Enoch, we were winning trophies. We won a trophy. We were nearly bankrupt under Alan Sugar, right? We in 99.
99.
No, 91. Was it 91 FA Cup?
I thought it was 91. 91 FA Cup. I thought that's what you were talking about. Yeah.
We were on the verge of bankrupt. and that's the biggest trophy we've won in the last 31 years. For next year, you know, this has to change from the top. ENIC have to start investing because, you know, Kane's sitting there. He wanted the City move so badly. And who did we bring in the summer to actually come in besides Romero? Romero is the only one to actually go, right, you're going to help us win something.
Emerson. Worst case, if Kane was injured, we'd use Son as a striker and Lucas, Bergwijn, Hill on the wing, but that doesn't sound convincing. Again, it's great ideas, Brian. I like your ideas, but the thing is, we should never be going for players either out of position or temporary options. We should have a plan B, but we don't have a plan B on the bench, and that is the bottom line for this, really, isn't it? That is the bottom line.
Cold settings, mate. That's the bottom line. And at the moment, you know, I like what you're saying. Rennes are a good side, but last year they were in the Champions League. They're in a bit of transition. They got rid of the likes of, you know, Camavinga, their star, and now they've where are they in the league now?
I couldn't tell you. I'll have a quick look while you carry on.
I'm going to estimate they are. I'm going to say 6.
They're 7th, so it was a good effort. But they're 7th, but they're 12 points off PSG already. Like, what's the point?
It's a Farmers League, isn't it? It's PSG's to lose.
The banner of Mourinho beats us in the final. Don't even start, Andre. Honestly, that's embarrassing if that happens.
I would probably jump off my house if that happened. I'm not going to lie to
you. When teams drop down for the Europa League into the conference, different story. I think they're both terrible compositions. I'm going to be honest with you. They're both terrible. We should be in the Champions League. Let's just rewind 4-5 years ago. Not even that. 2 years ago when we were in the Champions League final, and now we're in the Europa League conference, and people are trying to justify it. Oh, don't. It's just
imagine this, right? Imagine we were on the verge of being kings of Europe. Now we're basically playing in the Sunday League European competition. How have we fallen this badly? But season tickets have gone up. Daniel Levy's still the highest paid chairman in Europe. We still have the highest season ticket rate in Europe. I believe it's us and Arsenal. And we're still paying £100 for a shirt on a match day. And what have we got to show for it?
Nothing. We've got nothing to show. We've got nothing to show for it. We've got a runner-up medal at, in Madrid in 2019 in the Champions League final, which means nothing.
And then we also got a runner-up medal against Man City, and that is
exactly. Couple more comments coming in. Do you guys want a new goalkeeper next year? Would you take Onana? There's nothing wrong with Lloris at the moment. He's not made a mistake for a good long time. Correct me if I'm wrong. Lloris is a world-class goalkeeper. Keep Lloris till something seriously goes wrong with him, in my opinion.
He's only got a year left on his contract, so
renew it for 2 years. And Galini's a good backup, but everyone's. Do you know what? I'm going to make a controversial opinion here. Everyone was saying, right, when Galini came in, he's brilliant, and I think he is a good goalkeeper. But when he's played, he hasn't been like mind blowing for me. I can't remember what game it is. He conceded 2, and I was thinking you probably should have done better on both of them. I think it was the long range. I think it was a pre-season friendly, in all fairness, against Chelsea. But both shots could have been stopped. And I don't want to go negative on him either. But I don't know if he's going to be a starter in proper games. Phil Foden says, "Big up from Henry Wright channel. Big him up. Cheers for joining over here, Phil. I love your work for Man City. It's fantastic. Good backup strikers. Muriel, Tony. I don't think Tony will want to sit on a bench at any club. I think he's aiming bigger than that.
Just quickly on this.
Sorry, is that name made up? Sorry, I actually don't know that name.
K7's been in my streams for literally. Look, he's ripping me. Look, try and pronounce the last striker's name because he knows my pronunciation is absolutely terrible.
He's probably made it up. I don't think that's an actual striker's name. I don't think that's the player, is it?
But Luis Muriel is a player we should sign. Let's have a look.
By the way, even Tibicili have been champions of Europe.
No,
Make sure to subscribe. Spot on. Keep hitting that subscribe button. We're like 20 off, maybe not even that now. Henry tried to pronounce. No, it's not. See, I told you it wasn't. It's not a proper name. It's not.
I've lost the comment now.
No, don't. He's wasting. He's wasting your time.
He's normally pretty good though, to be fair to him.
Galini positioning needs work. I think get our centre backs are dodgy, but some of those should have been saved. Exactly. Henry, when is the next Tottenham show with Tobes and Fowl? That's a question for you, Toby.
Toby, you mean Henry? Tomorrow night, THFC show will be on Fuad's channel. So make sure you subscribe. That'll be at 10 o'clock. So go over there, tune in with the lads. But first things first, we are. Yeah, the guy's taking the piss. K7.
Yeah, I told you he is.
It's me sitting there like an absolute melt, looking for an internet, going, "Who is this player?"
Henry back in the room. Come on.
We are 19 subs away from 300 on here, so that's the aim.
If you're right, guys, if you are watching the video now and you're enjoying the content and you're interacting with us and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button because you'll. Man said Toby. Yeah, hit that subscribe button because you'll be doing a massive favor. You know, we're trying to grow this channel. We're trying to do weekly videos and we need your support. So, yeah, and obviously hit a like. That means a lot as well. I'll guarantee a lot of you haven't hit that like button yet. Just hit that like button and you guys have done a massive favor for us today and we appreciate the support. But should we go for some questions from Instagram?
Yeah, go on then.
Because there was a few interesting ones that came in. And guys, if you've got a question for us, ask us in the chat, and we'll be sure to answer them. So there's a question earlier. I'm going to let you answer this one, Henry. And it says, "What do you think about Harry Kane's performance against Newcastle? Will he score as much as he usually does from now on? AKA, do you think he'll go on a run now?"
Listen, he's got the ability without a shadow of a doubt. The thing with Harry Kane, it was all about. He's Mr. Consistent. The guy's the most professional player there is. And then when he kind of went through that transition where we thought he was getting the Man City move, we didn't think he was going to perform. And then now it's kind of like 6 games without a goal. His longest drought in the Premier League ever in the 5 years that he's been here. That being said, he put in a very, very good performance against Newcastle with a goal and assist. He took his goal very, very well. Even if he thought it was offside, he still, did the work. Put the ball over the top of the goalkeeper and obviously played a good ball through to Son. But I think he will now. I think, we all big this guy up. We're all absolutely, cheer him on to the hills come out, whatever the saying is. I think he will. I believe, he might not score against West Ham, but we need this guy regardless.
Harry Kane will score against West Ham. He loves scoring against West Ham. He will score against West Ham. That is my prediction. But yeah, sorry, carry on.
No, I was just going to say, if he doesn't perform against the likes of West Ham, then I believe we've got Man United not far after that, Burnley in the Cup, Vitesse again in the Conference League. So we need him more than anyone at the moment.
We need his confidence. We need his confidence. His confidence is low, and that goal will do in the world of good because I was starting to get very worried. 7 games with no goal. This wasn't the Harry Kane we know for 4, 5, 6 seasons on end.
He was like last year, he was the Michael Jordan of the Chicago Bulls 96, 97. The whole team on his back, we just didn't get any silverware. He carried the Bulls literally for like 80 games. That's what Kane did. Playmaker award, Golden Boot award. He was everything about this football club. And now he didn't get his move, so now we've got to ride through the storm. And the first 7 games, well, I think he missed the Man City game, didn't he? And then he missed the Wolves game. So 6 games without, 5 or 6 games without a goal. Not the end of the world. He's back. He got a goal and assist, and I believe he will kick on.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think he'll score against West Ham. I don't know, West Ham. I just really want to beat West Ham so much. Like
I can't stand their fan base.
They're getting so cocky that they finished above us for 1 season, the first time in about 10 years. It is embarrassing. David Raybold, big up lads. Good luck with the channel. Good to find more Spurs channels. Appreciate your support, mate, and make sure you subscribe for more because there's a lot more coming on this channel. It was a bit of a laugh and joke above about pronouncing a name, but I don't think we need to go through that. You guys should do a post-match player ratings. We could potentially do that if we have time, but we're running out of time. What else have we got here? Lil are open to selling Renato Sanchez. Thoughts? Sign him up. The guy's a baller. The guy is an absolute baller, and he's better than that Zachariah guy. By the way, Renato Sanchez. No, Renato Sanchez. I think he's unbelievable. You watched him for Portugal.
That's a big shout, though.
I like big shouts, Henry. That's the thing, right? Unfortunately, if I've watched more of Renato Sanchez, I've seen Zachariah as well from Mönchengladbach, but Renato Sanchez has impressed me at international level as well. Don't forget, the guy has played for.
Go on.
The guy's played for Portugal. Was it last? It was either last World Cup or last Euros, and he was at a very young age at that point. He's still a young age now, but he was commanding. And every time I see him come on, he commands that midfield, and his dribbling is phenomenal, and he's just what we need. He's more like a Lucas Moura equivalent in centre mid. He's breath of fresh air in that midfield. He'd be brilliant.
He's a very good player. I don't know if he's better than Zakaria though. I mean, they're two different players to
Zakaria is more defensively though, isn't he? He's a more defensive player. Renato Sanchez is more box to box.
Move to Bayern Munich didn't really go to plan. Then ended up at Swansea, and now it's kind of like I think he's only about 23, 24. I'm not entirely sure how old Zakaria is.
Renato Sanchez is 24 years old, so he's pretty much Dele Alli's age. But I think compare him to Dele Alli, I'd take Renato Sanchez any day of the week. And you're spot on. He did end up at Swansea.
They're both 24 as well, so they're both similar ages.
He's playing very well for Lille, and I know he is. He's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah, he just won the league title last year, didn't you? The first team to dethrone Paris Saint-Germain in 2015 when it was Monaco.
He can't be exactly. You just give me more evidence. He can't be that bad. I'm pretty sure he was involved in a lot of the success there. So I don't follow the French league religiously, unfortunately, because it's
Frank Kessie, absolute player as well. He's only got, I think, not even a year left on his contract for AC Milan. Why are we not snapping these players up? We brought in his director of football, whose phone bill was like £1,000 a month, and we're bringing in, unestablished teenagers like Brian Hill and Emerson. Yeah, fair enough. Getting Romero was a fantastic bit of business, but that's the sort of player we need more of them players. Yeah, Case Evans right. They are two different players.
Would you? Oh, this is a question. Right? I'm going to let you answer this one. Would you guys take Lingard?
100%, million percent. He walks into our team. He does. No. We don't have a playmaker. He goes to West Ham, drops 10 goals in something like 7 games, and arguably without him, they wouldn't have got Europa League.
I wouldn't take Lingard. I don't like the guy, but yeah,
I don't like him, but he's a better playmaker than who we've got. He's better than if anyone tells me Lo Celso's better than him, right? Lo Celso is finished. Dele Alli is woeful. Ndombele is inconsistent. People have got to wake up. We haven't got the Eriksen anymore. We haven't got the Moussa Dembele, luxurious players. Moussa Dembele was a joy to watch. Christian Eriksen can make a chance out of nothing, but now we don't have them. We don't have a playmaker. Lingard, if you said Lingard 15 million, I'd take it.
15 million maybe, because you've got that, you've got that security that you're going to sell him for probably more or about the same value. But
I know he plays West Ham.
I don't know why. I just don't want him. I see what you're saying, but I feel like he had a brilliant season, but where's his brilliant seasons been before that? And I know he hasn't had the chance necessarily at Man United, but I still think Jesse Lingard isn't a brilliant player.
So if we didn't take Jesse Lingard, who in our team starts over Lingard? There's an actual. Yeah, but he's not a playmaker though, is he? If you played Højbjerg at DM and you had Ndombele, then he walks in. If you play Højbjerg box to box, I mean, the last year or so, Jesse Lingard, I think, scored more goals in the 6 months he was at West Ham than Ndombele has.
What about this question then? All right. So say we sign Lingard, would you start? You've got 2 options. Would you start Skip, Højbjerg, and then in front Ndombele? Or would you start Skip, Højbjerg, and in front Lingard?
Oh.
See, that's when you got to think about it more, because I'd taken Ndombele on that situation.
Why can't Lingard go on the wing though? He's a better right winger than anyone we've got.
No, Lucas Moura.
He's better than Bergwijn though.
He probably is better than Bergwijn, but he's not better than Lucas Moura. That's for sure, 100%.
Yeah, but like how? Okay, let's compare it, right? Let's just quickly keep the ball rolling. So, how many goals did Lucas Moura score more goals than Jesse Lingard last year in the league?
No.
Right. Let's actually quickly.
But who scored all of West Ham's goals last season? Who scored most of West Ham's goals?
It was Antonio, wasn't it?
Antonio and
I think Jesse 4 now. You.
No. Jesse Lingard was definitely West Ham's second top scorer last season.
Listen to this.
The point is that Kane and Son score most of our goals. So, I mean, I'd like to see Lucas Moura score more goals, but we've got Kane and Son scoring the goals. So
stats, right?
They don't have Kane and Son. That's the
Lucas
difference.
Moura, 30 games. How many goals?
What, last season?
Yep, in the Premier League.
He scored about 4 or 5.
3. 4 assists. Jesse Lingard, 16 games, 9 goals, 4 assists. That's 13 goal contributions in 16 games compared to Lucas Moura's 7.
But we know West Ham had a better season than Tottenham
better
last year.
season, yes. But Harry Kane and Son still performed. Jesse Lingard joins West Ham in January. Halfway through the season, got to fit a new team, new mentality, new structure, new formation, and he drops, performance after performance after performance. Lucas Moura puts in the effort, and he's a very, very good player. But is he the future of his football club? I'm not saying Lingard is, but there's players out there that we could bring in instantly that are better than Lucas Moura for cheap. Donny van der Beek, for instance, just changing the subject. This man, right, was one of Ajax's best players in that Champions League campaign. We beat them. He scored the goal, fun enough, at our stadium. We lost 1-0. He can't get a game for Man United. Why are we not going to sign this player either? You could pick up Donny van der Beek and Lingard for about 35, 40 million. They both start for us. Donny van der Beek is a better number 6 than Oliver Skipp. And that's just facts. He's a better DM than Højbjerg and fucking Oliver Skipp. And he's not even a DM. Like, why are we not snapping these players up? I don't understand it.
Yeah, Donny van der Beek is one someone should snap up because he's clearly fallen out with the manager, hasn't he? Like, he's got no game. He's not even coming on for the last 10 minutes a game. So there's something going on there. I'm just going to mix it up here. This is a very controversial comment from Finn. He's put, we need to play Dele as a second striker.
This narrative's got to go.
Lingard is a get, but I'd try Donny first. Exactly. Yeah, Donny van der Beek is probably the best thing from this conversation. How much would Man United let Lingard go for? His question. How much would you be willing to? I would not pay more than 15, 20 million for Lingard.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
agreed.
Exactly. You can't pay more than him.
I'd snap it up.
Don't forget Lingard's like 29, 30 years old now. Maybe, maybe 28.
I think he's about 29.
I think 29, yeah. Yeah, he's 28. He's 28. It's 29 in December, but the point is he is getting to the latter stages of his career, really, isn't he? Like,
we brought Gareth Bale back at 33 or 32, and he got 11 goals in 20 games.
Absolutely. So, Henry speaking facts, the fact Lingard can be in the conversation for starting 11 says the quality. That's the worrying thing, Henry. Like, whether you think Lingard should go to Tottenham or with getting the Tottenham team or not, the worrying thing is we're talking about Jesse Lingard getting in our starting 11. That's the worrying thing about all of this. Like, even you've just ranted for me for 5 minutes and argued that Lingard should start for Tottenham Hotspur. When you go to bed tonight, just reflect that you've just said Jesse Lingard should start for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, that's due to the poor recruitment of his football club.
But that's embarrassing. We're talking about him in the frame. I completely understand your points, and I completely see why you think he should join Tottenham. But we shouldn't be talking about him. We shouldn't. We should be talking about people on Eriksen's level because we've had an Eriksen before.
Yeah, but we had the opportunity to get Buendia, who could potentially be as good as Eriksen. He got the most chances created, I believe, for Norwich, and we let him join Villa. You look at the next games we've got. Man United, we're probably playing at the best possible time because they're in dire straits. West Ham, if we can get a result against West Ham, then we go. We got away at Vitesse, and then we got West Ham, and then I believe we've got Burnley, and then Man United. I think we've got something like 4 games in 10 days. A Lingard in there would not be bad, would it? Yeah, he's unreal down the middle, but like his highest scoring season is 8 goals. But Lingard dropped 9 in 16 for West Ham.
I will repeat the point. The point is Harry Kane and Son scored most of our goals last year, right? And they had phenomenal seasons. Their goal scoring last year was absolutely brilliant. Like, I think it was their best goal scoring season. But if we've got them scoring the goals, I know it's like, oh, it doesn't matter, but Lucas can't score goals that have already been scored. I know that's a really it doesn't quite make sense, but what I'm saying is Lucas can get away with not scoring as many goals because, and you even said it yourself when you came on, Lucas Moura, 9 out of 10 performance on Sunday, he was brilliant. The energy injected in, but he played well, and we've remembered him for playing well. But just because he hasn't scored, I feel like that doesn't mean he's not a good player. He's put in a very good effort for the team, and he's been involved in the goals. I think he passed to Kane, and then Kane played it across to Son. Lucas was involved. He assisted the assist. It doesn't go in the stats, but he's played unbelievably well. I mean, I don't like defending players too much, but I think it's not necessarily all about the stats for a winger. I do see what you mean. Adama Traore, compare Adama Traore for Lucas. Similar records, although Lucas has got slightly more goals. Who would you rather take?
Yeah, Lucas all day long. He's a better player, but I just
because
think
he creates more. Exactly, that's what I'm trying
yeah.
to say. He creates more. So, anyway, it was a good debate. I think we should move on to this one. We love Lingard just to be more flexible to fit him in. We need a right winger who can score as much as Kane. If we add a player that gives us 12 extra goals a season, we can win something for sure. I think you got to look further back before we say about adding goals. We need to strengthen up defensively as well. Conceding 2 goals to against Newcastle is shocking, by the way.
That player Finley's just mentioned, Wirtz, is it pronounced?
Words.
They've already got 140 million release clause on him by Leverkusen. This guy is the hottest prospect in Europe.
Mm.
He just won Player of the Month at 18 years old.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. By the way, just slightly going off subject, you see Bayer Leverkusen got absolutely destroyed at the weekend. Bayern Munich went 5-0 up at half-time against them at Bayer Leverkusen. Unbelievable. And played Mora as Cam.
3 goals in 4 minutes, something like that.
Mora as Cam. I like the idea of Mora as Cam, but do you drop Ndombele? Anyway, we're getting to one more question from Instagram. It's actually another question about Kane here. Continues to score if he... Okay, how many goals do you think Kane's going to score? This is Brian Chan on Instagram. He said, can Kane continue to score? And if so, how many goals will he have at the end of the season? So we've already answered about the continuation. But how many goals do you think Kane will have at the end of the season? I'm going to say...
In all comps or Premier League?
Just Premier League, I think we'll go with. So last season he got 20... Was it?
4.
4, yeah. I'm saying he's not going to quite score as many as that. I'm going to say 18.
That's a good shout. I'm going to say 7. I'm going to say 16.
I thought you were going to say 7 then. I was like, what is going on? No, yeah, 16.
I think 16. I think Son will score more Premier League goals than him for the first time out. All I want is Heung-min Son to break the 20-goal mark. The only winger in the last 5 years that has done that has been Salah and Mane. And Mane did it 1 year.
Mm.
No,
how many did he get last year? Was it 14, wasn't it? No,
he always drops 20 goals, 20 assists in all comps, but he's doing it in the league where it matters.
Yeah. How many goals was it last year?
We're just gonna have a check very, very quickly. Son, Heung-min Son.
But no, I think it would be great to see him score 20 goals. He scored 17 last year. 17 in 37 games. Well, that's 1 in 2, by the way. That is an unbelievable record at left wing.
Oh, ridiculous. 27 goal contributions, 37 games.
Yeah, unbelievable. We're looking... Oh, Brian Chan, we just answered your question from Instagram, by the way. Good to see you over here. We're looking at Ollie Watkins as well. Would you take Ollie Watkins? Definitely as a backup for Harry Kane. Ollie Watkins would be a fantastic backup for Harry Kane, but I think Ollie Watkins would rather play first-team football at Villa over sitting on the bench of Spurs, if I'm being honest. So that's the harsh reality of it all, really, isn't it?
Not only that, it's not about playing... Oh, just to make things worse, Arsenal have just scored. It's not about...
Who scored?
I'm hoping it was White, because I've got White on my dream team. We're shameless. We're not talking about Arsenal on this channel anymore, but yeah, I mean, Ollie Watkins... very good player, but they're going to want in the region of 60 million. English player, pinned down to a decent contract. One of Villa's best players. Yeah, I mean, would he actually join Spurs?
Oh,
we had this debate about Danny Ings for years. If we brought him to the football club, he would have been amazing. But yeah, what happened.
Who did we have this debate with? Danny Ings?
Yeah.
Sorry, you just lagged at the end there. Did you say Danny Ings?
Yeah, sorry, Danny Ings. We wanted to sign Danny Ings for years, and then we never did, and Villa snapped him up.
Yeah. So. We'll probably talk about Ollie Watkins for another few. Who was that player, by the way? Sorry, just to go off topic. Who was that player we talked about for years? And Leonardo Demau, do you remember? Every single transfer window, we'd be linked with him. By the way, I've just had this on my phone. We're currently 4-3 down against West Ham's under-23s. 4-3. What a game, by the way. It doesn't bode well. Look at this. Unbelievable. 4-3. Shocking. Niall John got 2.
Serious player.
But yeah, play him in the Conference League games. One more comment, and then we'll wrap things up for the week. Maybe go for someone like Adam Ida, who's being used second fiddle. Potentially, we just need a player that's sort of not going to be a starting player, but he's going to sort of, playing for Norwich good forward. He broke through the Norwich team last year, didn't he? Yeah. Niall, John, good effort. Guys, we're going to wrap things up. Henry, thanks as always for joining me on SpursRelated's channel. Hopefully we can really kick things on. And guys, we appreciate your support. Make sure you subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. And obviously we'll be live again next week. We'll let you know on the sort of socials what day that will be. It'll probably be Monday or Wednesday, but we'll let you guys know, and we'll be reviewing the West Ham game. Hopefully we get the win. Just praying we get the win against West Ham. Absolutely praying. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching.
Yeah.
And we're both out. Take care. Bye-bye. Come on, you Spurs.